Hi, welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I'm going to be covering a different kind of stock that I normally do cover. It's called Lingerie Fighting Championships. Awesome name, by the way, but ticker is BOTY. So a couple factors why I'm just kind of doing this video and seeing whether it's a good buying opportunity for a lot of new investors or not is the fact that a lot of people are talking about it at the end of the day. A lot of people, whether it be in chat forums, and a lot of subscribers on a lot of my other videos have asked me what I think about this. So might as well cover it. Obviously, it does seem to be a growing trend, whether it's actually a legitimate good company to invest in long term, or maybe people just like the name of it. I don't know. But before I do get into any of that though, what I'm going to get to do is smash a thumbs up. It definitely helps my channel out significantly. For those that are new to the channel, I do daily videos on trending stocks, crypto, I do it all. So definitely subscribe. Also, link in my description to a Discord. It's a free chat that brings individuals together with the common theme of investing, making money, all that fun jazz. Because at the end of the day, that's why we invest. We invest to make money and have fun with it, such as companies like this. So definitely join the Discord. It's a good place to be. But with all that said, let's get into some Lingerie Fighting Championships. Okay, so just want to start off by going over what Lingerie Fighting Championships closed out on Friday at, which was at 0.0024, up 50%. So some things to kind of note as far as the day range. Day range was a low of 0.0022 to a high of 32. So 52-week range, pretty minimal, quadruple zero to a high of 0.89. And for those that did invest in over-the-counter, especially at the beginning of February, you can see that there was a huge influx of capital causing pretty much any company to go up. And this being one of them. So volume is very notable. So you can see 786 million shares that were traded on Friday, on average 52 million. So pretty huge, and especially considering the broader market, the volume is diminishing. This is very pleasant to see. Market cap, I know this is what is going to kill a lot of investors watching this video. So market cap 7 million. So this is a minuscule, one of the smallest companies, actually probably the smallest company I've ever covered and have ever looked at in as far as on a serious factor. But some things to keep in mind. Obviously it wouldn't be 2021 if we didn't talk about some shorts in some fashion. So short volume on Friday was 459 million shares. So keep in mind, going back here, 786 million. So pretty significant amount of volume, which is represented by about 59%. And even looking at this as well, you can see that it is being pretty heavily shorted. But looking more from an optimistic standpoint, despite this huge amount of short volume, it was still up 50%. So that does show that there is that among itself is a pretty good catalyst, and hopefully will validate whether it's a good buying opportunity right now or not. But moving on, I do want to start off by going over some of the old news before I touch on the new news. So Lingerie Fighting Championships returns March 23rd. So you can see that obviously 2020 was largely closed, and even does say COVID-19 definitely presented some challenges for us. And is saying after doing 4 events in 2019, we had hoped to do at least 6 last year, but had to cancel all but 1 due to the closure of most venues and blah, blah, blah. So it does go on to say 2020 was a bad year. 2019, they did 4 events, could have been a little bit better, but it is what it is. So again, Lingerie Fighting Championships secures new funding. So this is pretty significant in the grand scheme of things, because keep in mind, this is an over-the-counter stock. Over-the-counter stock needs money and it needs new funding. So it does say that today they announced that they have secured new funding sufficient to get current in their filings and hold events through the remainder of 2021. So that is definitely one good aspect of all of this. So I do want to start off by going over first their Form 10K, which is their annual report. Keep in mind, this is a general update for a lot of investors that are thinking about investing in this. I'm going to be talking about some things that has happened in the past that might not be relevant so much for the future, but is things that you should know. So again, it's on their annual report anyways, so they're not hiding it in any fashion as well. So it says incorporated 2006, so it is what it is. Just looking briefly at this, so they did a reverse split in 2015, 800 to 1, so that's pretty significant. Did a lot of share issuances. Just looking at this, again, that's a good factor, considering they can do that, convert debt to shares, or if they just need to pay out obviously their contracts or whatever it might be. But it does look like they did quite a lot. So up to about 1 billion shares here. Looks like up to 1.2 billion, up to 5 billion. So pretty significant as far as share dilution. But again, if you're investing in an over-the-counter stock, this is it. This is how they get their bread and butter, especially until they are a startup and they're just starting out. So it does go on to say, for those that couldn't tell based on the title, our business. So our LFC business is a brand focused on building and establishing a sport entertainment league that utilizes wrestling and mixed martial arts. And obviously it goes on to say various other things, but obviously it's an all-female league structure to wrestling and mixed martial arts. So just thinking about it, WWE is a very strong contender against that. And you can definitely see, as far as competition, does list that. So we compete on a national basis, primarily with WWE. So that is it. So at the end of the day, if you are in like WWE and you invest in WWE, this might be very appealing to you, because it is a startup, and usually when it comes to startups, you are paying a significant discount in relation to that of WWE. So yeah, just keep that in mind. When I did go through this, there's one factor I kind of, as far as an over-the-counter stock, am very interested but yet worried for. So under this employee section, so the company has one employee, Shaun Donnelly, which is the CEO and CFO. All cast and crew are hired on a contract basis for each live event. So all in all, if you are investing in this company that has a pretty awesome name, at the end of the day, you are investing ultimately in Shaun Donnelly's ability to promote the business and everything. So yes, you like WWE and everything like that, but at the end of the day, you're investing in Shaun. So keep that in mind as well. So it does go on to show their website that I'll kind of touch on after, but going through this as well. So as far as finances, so 2020 and 2019. So obviously 2020 they had one kind of event. 2019 they had 4 events. So considering that they had one event, that is pretty significant revenue. If I do say so myself, that is a good home run, especially for one. And considering if you factor this in being 4, then yeah, that's pretty good return, despite it only being up 1%. So other expenses is what is killing this business. They do need, as far as even just looking at it, it does look like on their operations aspect that their margins are way out of whack. So either they are just trying to start up and gain some traction as far as on a revenue basis and just maybe promote and develop themselves, so they are charging not as much as what they should, then that's one factor that we should be aware of. But that's how I see things, is obviously from a marketing standpoint, if you want to get your name out there, you don't charge as much. So then you can do more venues, get a name for yourself, and then you can start charging more. Just looking at this, they would hypothetically need to do continuous events, probably close to around 100 a year, just to break even. They'd make maybe about 2.7 mil, assuming keeping everything constant, assuming most of these are fixed costs. But yeah, again, I'm not a financial advisor, so just do your own due diligence at the end of the day. So as far as current assets got diminished massively, and there is no explanation as far as that goes. The company intends to fund future operations through equity financing arrangements, which may be insufficient to fund its capital expenditures, working capital, and other cash requirements for the year ending December 31st, 2020. So yeah, it looks like they are bleeding a lot of money. So yeah, at the end of the day, debt is increasing at a pretty significant year-over-year rate, so 33%. So this is, again, another factor that you should be aware of. I've done a lot of other videos on a lot of over-the-counter stocks, and like I've said many other times, I don't really look at their finances. I'm just doing this because to satisfy whatever niche that a lot of individuals do have about this and want to look at finances, then this is it. Me personally, I more invest in the product. So as long as I like the product that the company is offering, because at the end of the day, I know it's an over-the-counter stock. So I want to invest in something like that. But just going to quickly speed this up. So you can see as far as cash flow, not too good at the end of the day. 52% increase or decrease. But again, they only did one event. But yeah, all in all, I suggest taking a look at this, kind of reading through this at your own leisure. But even looking at this cash and cash equivalents, cash is down significantly. Again, it probably is attributed to that 33% increase in debt. But yeah, so as far as this, total liabilities and stockholder deficit, pretty bad at the end of the day. For those that are interested in this company, let me know in the comments below whether you're actually interested in this and you care about the finances and whatnot. So with all that said, again, you can read this. It's available on the SEC website. But I do want to talk more so about the catalyst that brought it up 50%. So right here, Lingerie Fighting Championships coming soon to Roku. That is pretty significant. So they announced today that they have partnered with Scuffle LLC to launch a Roku channel called LFC Network. The channel will carry LFC events as well as slate of original programming designed to spotlight LFC's talented cast. So that is pretty good. Having our own channel has been a goal of mine for a long time. CEO, obviously the CEO says, but I knew we needed to reach a certain threshold of content first, which is pretty smart at the end of the day. This in itself is pretty good. Some factors that I'm sure a lot of individuals don't realize is the fact that there is a huge amount of cost to do that, and to make, because it's one thing to have a channel, but you need to continuously at least start developing more content. So it does go on to say that the LEC Exposed reality series reached 100 episodes milestone. So they definitely do need to continue that up, and that will probably, and that actually saying that out loud probably does kind of reason why that the expenses are relatively high, because they probably have been doing this and developing this for quite some time. But looking at their website right here, so pretty interesting website. So you can go investors, whatever you want to take a look, reality TV. So this is obviously what they are going to have a channel about, most likely Exposed, and probably, like even said, their cast as well. So they're the cast that they probably hire continuously, maybe through a third-party agency or whatnot. At the end of the day, it is what it is. So you are investing in this, in the possibility and future channel of this. Again, the economy is starting to open back up, so that is very, in itself, a pretty big catalyst for this company. And again, it's pretty much more so and more so opening. Even with that Delta variant that is kind of coming through and starting to cause a lot more fear throughout the market, it's not really resembled so much in this stock. So at the end of the day, this is it's a pretty good investment if you are interested in this kind of stuff. As far as how I see things, I personally don't see the risk versus reward being there. I do see, and this company does present quite a huge amount, a large level of risk, to say the least. Definitely, they show that especially they haven't really done it since about 2017, but they do seem to dilute the shares quite a lot. That is one thing that it is. But being on Roku does have its pros, especially Roku is developing and growing at a pretty significant rate among streaming services. So that is definitely one big catalyst. Whether this is justified to be this price, I wouldn't really say so, especially considering WWE does have quite significant market share, and in order for this to kind of take over, this would take most likely probably another about
5 years, in my estimate, to even get to a degree where they could be fully self-sufficient. So I do estimate that there will probably be continued dilution for at least the next couple of years, especially if 2021 doesn't go their way for whatever reason, if there is further shutdown or anything like that because of new variants, then this stock would hurt significantly. So let me know what your thoughts are on this company. I just wanted to provide a little bit of insight and kind of how I see all of this at the end of the day. Again, it seems in reality like a pretty good, interesting company. It definitely caught my interest based on the name alone, because you don't see that too often. But I do see that there is a lot of risk here. And risk isn't too bad, especially considering it with especially over-the-counter stocks. It is what it is. So let me know your thoughts on this and what you are kind of planning, or if you are just watching it, interested by the name or anything like that. But definitely, it looks like as far as news they do, I wouldn't really call some of this news. But yeah, obviously this is their way of marketing, and I've never really been into WWE as far as investing, so maybe this is normal as far as that goes. I could be wrong, I don't know. But definitely let me know in the comments below.
Okay, so let me know your thoughts on Lingerie Fighting Championships in the comments below, and what you are doing. If you're buying, just watching, interested by the name, whatever it might be. If you haven't already, definitely smash a thumbs up and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. Also, take a look at my Patreon, link in the description below. It definitely helps my channel significantly. Take a look at the tiers, whatever suits your needs, whatever it might be. Definitely it helps. But with all that said though, let's make a lot of money on whatever stock you are investing in.